You can see for yourself, they're really quite friendly. Certainly the young ones and the females are as friendly as we would wish them to be, but obviously the breeding male does present some problems.
It's hoped that the wild boars will thrive here in Sussex. They've got 70 acres to themselves. Another part of the estate is used for war games where teams splatter each other with paint. It's all part of Tim and Harry's determination to survive in a climate where farmers aren't doing as well as they'd like. And finally, here are those famous wild boar bangers, which are actually made and sold on the farm. They're hoping locals will hog the lot.
So, an alternative to beef here, perhaps?
That's right. Well, we started actually as a result of the '87 hurricane. We had a lot of devastated woodland, so we thought rather than get expensive machinery in to clear it up, we'd have a look at getting wild boar in. Totally mad idea, but there it is. That's what we're going for.
And has it taken off all right?
At the moment, sort of demand sort of well exceeding supply. You know, we're looking to see if we can sort of get in extra stock to meet the demand.
What's it taste like?
It's a stronger, gamier flavour than ordinary pork, mainly because the meat is...
Like?
Well, we killed off all the wolves and we killed off all the wild. And I think it's over 300 years now since there's been any wild boar. But what's happened here is that in this clearing, and this is a clearing created by a terrible storm which knocked down all the trees.
It looks nuclear, doesn't it?
And they've been left like this, a sort of wasteland. And onto this wasteland, we've now got back again the wild boar, the native animal.
How different is it from the pig?
Well, it's much, if you have a close look at it, you see it's got a longer leg, a more slender body, a much more elongated snout, much more pointed face, and smaller hindquarters. This is, of course, the ancestor of the ordinary domestic pig, and what we did was we made them much heavier bodied to give us more meat. Now, I'd like to say that these wild boar are all being brought back here to England again in order to return them to their natural home, but that's not the case. They're in fact here for commercial purposes. These are being farmed, and you might say, well, it's a pity to farm and kill these animals, but it must be said that they are living a very natural life.
Who's head of the family?
It's interesting that although the wild boar, the male, is a huge creature with enormous tusks and great warts over his face to protect his face from damage, when he gets very old, he goes off on his own, and it's the matriarch, the female, that tends to be the leader, as in the case of elephants, incidentally.
Interestingly, I mean, I'd only just remembered this. Wasn't it the fourth trial of Hercules? He had to go, and you don't know this, do you? I can tell from that blank.
I'm sure your classics are better than mine.
My turn now to show off. The fourth trial of Hercules, he had to go and get this enormously outrageous and dangerous wild boar because the king was so frightened he lived in a jar. He got the boar, the king came out of the jar, and then the boar escaped and went back up the mountain.
Well, the mythology that goes with these animals is enormous. All through the ancient world and all through Europe, there are endless myths and legends about these animals because, of course, they were quite dangerous. The big slashing tusks, which could rip a man open. But I must say one thing. People say they're savage. They're not. Some movies have tried to make them savage. But in fact, no wild boar would ever attack you unless you attacked it first.
But it was wounded.
But of course, it had plenty of provocation. Anyway, we better get on. We've got a lot to do.
They're lovely to look at, though, aren't they? I like the little ones. Oh, it's blowing about a bit, isn't it, today?
Very breezy.
I don't mind, though, because I'm